My Readiness to Learn presentation, I decided to do it on preschool. So first you need to figure out if your child is ready to learn. All developmental stages play a part in knowing your child is ready to learn. Cognitive development is in the mind, how the mind functions. Social emotional development is the interaction that your child has with other people. And the physical development is their body. Language development is their communication. Cognitive development, students need to be able to relate to music and rhythm in repeated patterns. They also need to be able to learn about life and the feeling of life and everything that um, the student portrays. And they're starting to be able to relate to their senses, so they can touch, feel, hear, smell, and things like that, and they can recognize the differences. They're at the beginning stages of learning the alphabet. Most of the time, they only know a couple letters, like maybe what their name starts with, but as they go throughout preschool, they'll be able to develop learning their whole entire alphabet. They also start to understand shapes and how you can take the circle and in the little bucket, if it has like different shapes cut out on top, they can start to connect which hole the shapes go in. They also start to gain an interest in learning and more of a desire to learn new things and be more adventurous. In social and emotional development, they like to play with themselves a lot and do things individually. They also start to be able to parallel play, which is when they are playing next to somebody else, but they're not playing together. They can be separated from their parents for some time and still be okay and not panic, and they enjoy their time away from their parents. And this shows that they're going to be okay to be at a preschool. Not all students are this way at the beginning of entering preschool, so sometimes the readiness of this one isn't as high, but they need to have some sort of way to disconnect from their parents. The students also will show the parents that they want to be good. So they'll try and do things that portray them as a good kid. They also like big kid jobs. This is They want to be able to be the big helper. They want to put their plate in the sink. They want to clean up. They want to help and do whatever you're doing. This just shows that they're gaining more of that interest in learning. When they're friendly and chatty, this will show that they're becoming ready to communicate more, and they can interact with others and be okay and still feel safe. In physical development, their fine motor skills are starting to develop. So you'll see this at home when they're like trying to do things like coloring or anything like that. Most of the time, they will, parents will start things with the student before they even come into preschool, and this just helps them progress better and faster through preschool and learning. They like to run, jump, and climb. This is just showing that students will be able to play, they'll be able to do fun things, and they're showing that their physical development is still catching up and they're doing the same thing as all the other students. They like to be able to, they can sit for a short time, but they can still listen to instruction. Most of the time, they can't sit for very long, but they can sit for enough that you can do a small little instruction and then a project. But over time, starting them small like this makes it where as they go throughout the later developmental stages that they actually end up being able to sit there for a long time. So always start somewhere, and sitting for a short time really helps. They, again, they show their interest in learning. This can be through physical development, so they want to be actively involved with the activities that they're doing. And they start to show coordination with activities that you plan and that they do at home with their family. Language development is also another thing. They have increased levels of communication, so they're able to convey the message that they're trying to say and be understood. They're able to depict, we're able to depict what the child is saying. So this helps because you need to be able, in preschool. You need to be able to communicate with a student in a way that they're actually going to be able to learn and understand what you're saying. And that comes to the next point, that they're able to understand the common words. So they can understand colors most of the time. They're learning their colors in preschool. So they'll slowly start to understand colors. They understand the simple things like stop, go, um, listen, uh, and some encouraging words. So that makes it a lot easier. They need to be able to start to develop the use of sentences, because this will show that their language development is actually where it needs to be, because the student can talk in more than just one word. And this will help us see that they're actually ready to move on and be at a preschool. Here are my resources I used, and I hope that after this you know that your student is now ready to learn.